Hi everyone, welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. I have some good news for you. Our episode on the life of Ukrainians abroad is now available on all podcast platforms. Don't forget to share our long talk with your friends and on social media. My name is Artem, and here is the news. For 487 days, Ukraine defends itself against the forces of the Russian invasion. In his evening video address, President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelenskyy informed that he spoke with President of the United States Joe Biden, with Prime Minister of Canada Justin Trudeau, and with President of Poland Andrzej Duda. According to Zelenskyy, they discussed the situation in Russia as well as on the front line and how partners' support help Ukrainian forces to move forward. He added that another topic was the situation at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Unfortunately, the world's attention to the existing Russian threat at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant is still insufficient, just as the reaction to the Russian blowing up of the Kakhovka hydroelectric power plant, said Ukraine's president. He stressed that Ukraine has the information about the Russian scenario of mining the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, which has obviously been approved for terrorists. Zelenskyy said that the world must take very specific steps to prevent any radiation accidents. Earlier Chief of Ukraine's military intelligence Budanov said in an interview to the New Statement that Russia has completed preparations for a possible terrorist attack on the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant they occupy, reports NVUA. Equipment with explosives was placed near 4 of the 6 power units, and all they need is a command to start. Budanov stressed that the situation has never been so serious before. Russian occupation authorities informed that they killed 2 teenage supporters of Ukraine in the city of Berdyansk, South Ukraine, reports Radio Liberty. On the evening of June 24, social media began to spread information about the murder of teenagers in Berdyansk, as well as video allegedly recorded by one of them, Tigran Oganisyan. "That's it, boys. Death. Farewell. Glory to Ukraine," says Tigran with the machine gun in his hand. On the same day, information appeared in the Russian media about a shootout in Berdyansk and the wounding of 2 locals. The information appeared on social media that in Berdyansk, 2 boys born in 2006 killed a local policeman and shot a Russian occupier. Volodymyr Rogo, a representative of the occupation administration of the captured part of the Zaporizhzhia region, said that 2 pro-Ukrainian terrorists have been eliminated, and named Tigran as one of them. As it all happened on the occupied territory, there is no independent confirmation available. We would really appreciate if you could rate us, ideally with 5 stars, and leave a glowing review in the apps where you are listening to this podcast: Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and others. This way more people would learn about the highlights from Ukraine and truth about Russia's invasion. Ukraine's Defense Minister Oleksiy Reznikov said that the current phase of the counteroffensive was a preparatory operation and promised that once the counteroffensive is fully underway, it will be a success, reports Ukrainska Pravda. In an interview with Fox News, Reznikov acknowledged that Russian forces had built up very strong defensive lines. However, he denied that the current maneuvers were the main assault for the Ukrainian military. He said that when the offensive reaches its full force, it will be a success, bringing Ukraine one step closer to victory. He admitted that early expectations for the counteroffensive were overestimated and said that Ukraine is very careful when it puts its brave and motivated soldiers in harm's way. Reznikov also said this year will see a turning point in the war. Spokesman for the Eastern Group of Ukrainian Forces Sergei Cherevatый informed that Ukrainian fighters advanced by 6 to 1,000 meters on Bakhmut's southern and northern flanks over the course of the day, reports Zahidnet. Cherevatый also added that 186 soldiers from the Russian occupation forces were killed, 224 injured, and 8 were captured. Germany, in cooperation with the United States, intends to transfer another 45 Gepard self-propelled anti-aircraft systems to Ukraine by the end of the year, reports Suspilne. According to the German Defense Ministry, Berlin has already transferred 34 Gepard systems to Ukraine, and another 15 will be delivered in the coming weeks. In addition, they plan to deliver up to 30 more by the end of the year. Thank you for listening to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast. Don't forget to check out our Long Talk episode. We are a commercial initiative of just two people and we need your help to grow. Share information about the podcast, rate us in the app, subscribe to our Patreon. With your support, we are getting better. We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine.